I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What's up, Vagrant Queen fans, and welcome to the Vagrant Queen After Show. We're talking episode 7, Sunshine, Express Yourself, and we have a very special guest in the house. We have Alex McGregor, who plays Amae. Woo! Welcome. So we're going to go through the episode, talk to Alex about her role in it and everything. We have our special segment at the end. But before we get started, we'll introduce ourselves. My name is Carrie Lane. I'm joined by my awesome co-host. Say hello.
James Maple, that's me. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 7. We could not be more excited to talk to Alex about this episode. I'm super pumped to get into it.
I was going to say, we better be sunshiny happy. It is sunshiny.
I know, yeah.
And we do have a live chat going, so if you're joining us live, please throw out your questions. If you're watching it later, comment down below, and don't forget to give that a thumbs up. All right, before we really dive into it, Alex, we had commented to each other of like, wait, what episode would be a good one to come in on? And it was this one that you were excited for. Let me know a little bit why episode 7.
I had a lot of fun filming this episode. I mean, I had a lot of fun filming the whole series, of course, but this one really stood out, and a lot has happened with our team, and Elida has gone through so much, especially. And I mean, episode 7, things fall apart and then they come back together. So I really love that episode and the whole like roller coaster ride that it is, and the fact that Amae actually realizes what her feelings really mean.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, #Amita.
Yes. And roller coaster in more ways than one.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And James, awesome. James, what did you think of this episode?
I loved it. This was a massive like pick me up episode 7 from episode 6. As we discussed last week, it was one of the episode 6 was one of those episodes where we needed a goal. Like the team had relatively disbanded, and we didn't know the direction of things and how we could have this collective goal moving forward. And now we have it. Like now there is this universal kind of collective, so there's a rallying troop for us all now, I think. So I'm super happy to see that, we're moving forward in the story. And this episode definitely shed a lot of light into more of the like personal experiences of our individual characters, but I'm glad that we were able to push forward with something new. So I'm super excited to see what's coming up.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. A nice first question we got. Adam Rodriguez says, how long is the makeup process for your character?
So it takes about 2.5 hours to become Amae every day. That's makeup and wardrobe included. So makeup is just over 2 hours. And then to take it off, it's about 30 to 45 minutes.
Have you ever wanted to just leave set and be like, no, I'm good. I'll go out with the color and everything?
No, because I mean, having that on every single day definitely takes a toll on your skin and stuff. Yeah. So I was looking forward to that scrub down at the end of the day, to be honest.
Nice. Yeah, I bet that okay, it's off. After similar to your washout you had for your poor eye of the sand episode 2.
I know.
That was traumatic. And that happened on day 1 at that location.
Oh,
not even during filming a scene, during a rehearsal.
Oh no.
A whole mound of sand kicked into my eyeball. It was like a horror movie. Yeah, only had it really washed out and sorted out properly 2 days later. But what an experience.
God.
And if you're okay with eye stuff, go check it out on her Twitter. I like that you had the video of it getting rinsed out.
Yeah. That was very soothing. Everyone was like, oh, that looks terrible. And I was like, that was I needed that. I was like, yes.
Oh,
relief.
Man. Yes. Well, our characters do not get relief. Their vehicle is impounded and you have to ride the train to get to the impound station. I do like how Isaac totally guesses their game there of this is a great, nice scheme you have going on there. And the clerks, shout out to those characters. They're small, moments, but they were so funny.
Yeah. 100%. That was so great. Everyone was great.
Was it ever hard? Did you ever have to, in general, and then this episode, Alex, was it ever hard to not just bust out laughing at different moments?
Oh, 100%. There's actually a scene that's coming up in episode 8, and Tim is responsible for this. I actually couldn't control myself, and we're all supposed to be really serious, and he was doing this. He was off camera, and he was just being Tim, and it was too much for me. And it actually, if you look closely, you can see in the scene that I'm kind of like trying not to laugh. Oh my gosh, I literally couldn't contain myself.
We'll be on the lookout. Nice. Couple people had asked in general, how many locations was this episode? So we have the impound lot, and then obviously then inside the train, but then the rocky area and where the ship is at the end. Were those multiple locations stretch out of multiple days for that shoot?
Yes, they were. The flower fields, that was very close to the foresty, bouldery, rock vibes. So those are close together, but those are separate locations. And then for the train, they built that in studio. They built 2 carriages, and that was pretty cool because all the doors and stuff were practical. So they had people on either end pulling them open, pushing them closed. Super cool. Very old school. And then, of course, I think there were about 5 or 6 locations for episode 7.
And they're all
then the parking officials at the end. That same place is where we did the sad area and all that stuff. Yeah, everything is in South Africa, in Cape Town, which is where I'm from.
Yay!
Does it feel nice to film so close to home?
Yeah, it is. It's pretty neat.
Very cool. So we have the part which we start off pretty rocky at the beginning. Everybody's Elida says all this was just a mistake, which just hurts. Of no, and that finding of a seat. I bet we have all gone through that. And then also, some dudes probably, but I bet some of the ladies, the finding oh hey friend, yes, this is your seat.
Yeah, definitely done that before.
And go Amae for the assist. She's like, yes, friend. But also go Isaac for no, you go. It's fine.
Yeah, it's a pretty good moment. He's a good wingman.
Yeah.
Yes, he really is.
We then also Amae, how is it for you as an actor being this character? How similar are you to your character of Amae? Seems to be with this woman she's sitting down with, just so easy to get along with, and just really friendly and very relatable.
I like to think I'm the same. Funny, Jem often would be like, Alex is Amae. Jem, our showrunner, creator, writer extraordinaire. She would often say that. In many ways, I do relate to Amae, especially her passion for things that she loves. I'm very extreme. I either love something or I hate it. And yeah, I do have a lot of energy. I speak quite loudly, so which is not always the best thing for some people. But yeah, I like to think I'm also positive and easy to get along with.
Nice. Yeah, James, what do you think of that interaction of the sitting down and they're bonding? And I know we want Amae to be with Elida, but it was kind of nice to watch her flirt with someone else too.
I have to keep going back to this original point, and it's not because you're here, Alex. Amae got game. She spits game to no end. I'm like, damn, this girl is getting everybody. So I love those moments. I really do love those moments because it makes Amae, because she can be kind of a light character. It really gives her a bit more solid ground. It makes her a bit more round of a character. And like you said a moment ago, Kari, this is not the first time we've seen Amae spit game, and she does it well.
Yeah, she's just very open sexually, and I think that's important. So she's very fluid and easy to get along with. And I don't think monogamy is something that she understands. That's why when Isaac brings up the fact that he's been faithful to his wife for 5 years, even though he's in another galaxy, she's kind of like, wow, okay, well, I love people. So I don't understand that, because why can't we just, be with, if you like someone, just be with them too. Have fun, keep it open. But that's why I think her Amae realizing her feelings in the train, that's the big deal. She's always liked Elida, but it's the first time for Amae that she's actually wanted to stay just committed or monogamous person. So it's a big deal. She loves her, but also she's now committed to her, and that's a completely different, I think, feeling and everything for her. And that's part of the big realization in the train.
What do you think sparks that realization for her?
The fact that a pretty girl pulls in to kiss her, and she is in that moment is like, whoa, actually, no, this isn't Elida's lips, and I want Elida's lips. So I think that's a big deal for her, because she's been perfectly fine with just, having all these booty calls across the galaxy, as her brother Chaz brings up in one of their alien Skype calls. So yeah, I think that's the fact that she was like, whoa, I don't want to kiss you. I mean, you're great, but I want to kiss someone else.
I have to say, in that scene too, that was like the smoothest turn down I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, both parties took like the situation so well. And it was like, oh, okay, well, sweetie, good luck to whoever you're looking out for in the future. I was like, whoa, that's how you turn somebody down right there.
Very supportive.
Yeah. I was just gonna say that. I'm like, that's the best way of, this was really nice way to pass the time. I enjoyed your company. All right, and moving on.
I bet you do.
Yeah. And then speaking of Elida, James, what did you think of the flashbacks that we get Elida in the pod for a couple weeks, all alone?
I have to say, like, as a big sci-fi fan, that one moment is a moment that's often, I feel like, lost in sci-fi. Like, we're star hopping and going between galaxies and planets. That interim of time of like you being in stasis or you being like by yourself alone in a pod is oftentimes looked over, and it's like, oh, they took off, and then 14 light years in the future, like, it's like, it doesn't work like that. I love the fact that they focused in on that moment, and you can see like the inner workings of Elida. Like, you can see how she's going through emotions and almost like a grieving process herself, like with losing her mom, but it's done for the audience to see. And then she has that that moment of letting the I think his name is Stock. I want to say the character's name was briefly. It was Stocks. He was the guy. It was the voice behind the person who was like, "Hey, do you need food? Do you need whatever?" That moment was cool. Like, you really saw Elida take her mother's advice in that quick moment where she was like, "Hey, okay, maybe I should succumb to this nice person and their words and their care because I am in need." And then she has that relapse, and luckily she remembered her mother's words. And Zeppelin was right in this instance, where like Stocks was not a good actor in the situation.
Yeah.
That also takes us back to the beginning of the episode where Elida walks away from the trio. I mean, the last words that her mom said to her was, "Don't trust anyone." And yeah, I mean, it just makes all of that make sense, which is important. And I think that's how she's different from Amae, because obviously Amae lost everything. Her and Chaz lost their planet when Amae was 5. And they didn't have last words from a mom saying, "Don't trust anyone." So I think that's how their stories differ, even though they are quite similar. That's why Amae also so open to reaching out to people and trusting people, because she obviously had to get where both of them are today. Whereas Elida has always been a lone wolf. So
I was surprised too, because I thought for Elida that you're going to run out of food and oxygen, that you're going to die anyways. But I think she was right to be cautious. But yeah, James, I like how you phrase that. Of it is the aloneness of space that is probably more terrifying. Of
Yeah.
in a little box by yourself.
Yeah.
I'm just like, whoo.
Mhm.
And then what do we think of her, James? What do you think of her getting that job on the train? Of course. And also that happens in real life too. You bump into people that you're like, out of all the places, hi, random coworker person that I'm okay with ish.
This goes into like the we talked to I think it was Jem and Danishka about this, about them. I know it was with Danishka in particular about a couple episodes back about the whole gas station scene. These moments I think are so real, like the moments of a character like falling into the traps of real life reality. And I know Kari and I both live in LA, which is a big city. Alex, you're in South Africa, which is a massive place, Cape Town in particular. That happens to us often where you're like, oh, hey, and you like bump into somebody and you're like, oh, hey, hey, hey. So I love those moments. And then I love that it gave Elida a goal. It gave her a new purpose. Like, because initially she was like very reticent to even talk to this person. She's like, yeah, we worked together in the past. Like, I've seen you before. Like, girl, bye, move it along. So I was happy to see that she, this girl had some type of useful information, and it, like, luckily the things overlapped in a way that it brought the trio back together. So I guess it goes to show, like, you should be looking out for an opportunity no matter where it is, even a dingy, dirty bar. So
be ready.
Yes.
Yes. Nice. Then we have and then also Elida jumping off the moving train and rejecting Isaac's call. And speaking of Isaac, he gets a comedic bit of bumping into, of course, the person that has a bounty on their head, and it's done in a cute comedic bit. James, what do you think of that whole sequence of Isaac meeting this woman and then the fake hostage situation?
Yeah. So, okay, so here I have a theory actually behind this. I gotta get a little closer to the camera because I want to really like let you guys know. Okay, so Alex, last week.
I think I know your theory.
Do you know I'm getting at, Kari? You know I'm getting at. I bet you do. So we have an ongoing special segment that we do here called Winnie Who, Winnie What. We're gonna do it this episode as well. We'll get into that later on. But one of my favorites that has been on the special segment is Robin Scott. I want to say her name.
Robin Scott.
Yes. So she played so good. Like we were talking about like these B characters who make a really big impact. For me, she is probably one of my favorite ones. Next to Nim. So he told he being Tim told us last week to look out for Robin in another role. Oh, yeah. I think in my wealth of knowledge that is Vagrant Queen, I got the impression that this scientist, we're gonna call her, is Robin Scott, the actress. In particular, there was this one scene where they were just after they fought off, or right before they fought off the Republic's guards when they came to get them. She says something, I forgot the exact words, but she says something and I'm like, I know that voice. And I could not, I think I'm right. And I really do want to get to the bottom of it. Is that Robin Scott?
No. That is another actress. Her name is Megan Furness. Yes.
Wow.
Wonderful.
She did an excellent job. That character, I think, like, really, really took this episode and made it her own. There were so many other parallels that we have here in the States regarding politics. I'm sure we get into that later on. There were lots of
a lot more of her to come, so that's good.
Okay, great. I'm glad she played such an important role in this episode, because she is an addition to the cast, to like the trio. I think that will add a little something. It almost is another connection between the trio and Lazaro. Like now they have something mutual.
She's so feisty.
Yeah. And that gun of hers is no joke.
It's insane.
Yes.
What can it not do?
Yes. We got ER's grandpa in the chat said, oldish alien woman don't play.
They do not, honey.
I was like, nope. So then we get the bit where Amae, of course, comes in, is like, Isaac, what are you doing?
Very confused.
Yeah. So Alex, how was that for you, of that kind of scene of, coming in and the hostage situation? Also, shout out to the hijacker Bounty hunters.
Yes.
They're great
amazing,
in Emmy as well.
What a good duo.
So good.
So yeah, then Alex, how was that scene for you of trying to help your friend and figure out what is going on? And you're like,
I
what?
mean, Amae's already kind of deflated because Elida's gone. And then she comes into this and sees Isaac holding a gun to some strange lady. And she's like, what the crap? I mean, that's it, because it looks like what it looks like. It looks like he's holding someone hostage. And it's just, yeah. So it was very confusing for Amae. And that seemed interesting to shoot, because when we do the crossover, the scientist and Amae, we were walking so slowly and it felt like it was forever, and it was so awkward and weird, and we were like, is this working? So that was interesting.
Yeah, they're nice little.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, what is going on?
With that being on a set, did they have to, were they able to, and did they move like the rows out of the way to film it and do reverses, or did they kind of leave it mainly intact?
As far as I remember, the actual structure was solid. They could just move out the doors and make things look slightly different. I can't recall if they could move those chairs or like the seating or not.
Yeah. Well, then did it help it make you feel like you're in the train compartment?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And we were in that fully. So like I said, they built 2 carriages.
Okay.
Which was pretty, and it was very spacious, which obviously was necessary for the cameras and crew.
Yeah.
It was very hot though. Woo! Very hot.
What is the Sunshine Express? So.
Yeah. That too. There was with so many like background actors. It was
just so much good makeup on this episode.
Absolutely.
I love all the prosthetics.
Right?
I think this might be one of the this might be one of the first episodes we've seen where it's like that much of an eclectic spread. You know, we visited other planets. In particular, I think there was like this Zija space station in the past. We saw a nice hijack. Sorry, yeah, that was like nice eclectic blend. But this, like, and I have to say too, like the costume design in this episode was special because every character looked starkly different from each other. I mean, you know, you had your pointy ears and that kind of thing that we've had that are, you know, more easier things to do. But there were shields and helmets and extra limbs and creatures living in boxes with tentacles. So it was cool to see the costume design.
That the tentacles were practical. They had someone like shake.
Nice.
So that's cool, being able to work with like real life aliens and stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
And then Alex, we got a good question here from the chat. Tracy Williams says, I love Amae and Isaac's friendship. It seems as though they've grown closer together. They've grown closer. Is it fun playing off Tim in these comedic scenes? And then Jim C adds that love their chemistry.
Oh my gosh, it is too much fun. I mean, the amount of times that I nearly pee myself from laughing because he is so great and he is so funny and he is so nice. And just being able to work with him I'm very grateful for that. And of course, we're good friends in real life now too, not just on set in scenes. So I'm very grateful for that. He's awesome, so easy to play off of. I feel like our energies, Amae and Isaac's energies, are kind of similar. And again, a lot of my moments as an actor where I found it hard to like contain my laughter in scenes, it was a result of Tim doing something. He is a little bit clumsy, not gonna lie. The amount of times, like, oh my gosh, when we were in the forest and Isaac is like sacrificing himself and he says, I'm gonna be distracted. He's like, you go and do this. And he jumps up and he starts running and waving his arms. He actually fell. He went rolling down the hill. It was so hectic. And then he just got up and carried on like nothing was happening. And that, like nothing happened. And that actually ended me. Like I couldn't contain myself. And everyone rushed him like, "Are you okay? That looks so intense." And he was like, "No, I'm fine. It's chill. Like, what are you guys talking about?" And that just ended me. Like, I'll never forget it.
Oh boy. On to antics for the win. Nice. Yeah, that was very fun. I liked his little moving around. So we also learn that the woman is she studies the Sterzad and Sterzadologist, which is really interesting. And so it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And that they are all being sent to Lazarone, and if they reject, they die. So that was very interesting. I will say, when you guys jump off the train, I was a little more skeptical because I'm like, that train is moving really fast. But then when we see it, okay, it's maybe going a little slower. Oh, but wait, it's up high. I'm like, okay.
And also, we're in space. Maybe gravity and stuff works differently.
It's true. It could be different on this planet. Yes. It's the don't look here,
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing too. I'm like, this little old scientist, she has to have some brittle little bones to be jumping off the trains and things.
Oh my gosh. When we shot that, they put these like mats down, these fat like what's the word I'm looking for? But these mat things. And then they just had these fans blowing at us. And guess what? Something went into the exact same eye that sand. Oh gosh. And we had to take like 30 minutes to wash off the makeup, wash out the eye, and have the like the eye person on set, because obviously a lot of people have contacts.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
We were there, and she had to like sit and like really like look into my eye and finally found the culprit. That was stuck right in there, but that happened. So this eye was just problematic while shooting.
You're like, can I get goggles for like all this?
Right?
Like, really, her eye again? Oh
man. I also liked the moment when Elida and Isaac. So there are the Amae and Isaac moments of course they are comedic together, but when you both are walking and you're talking about how Elida actually is leaving, and so now you got to walk to the impound station. How are those more emotional scenes for you?
Everything is shot out of sequence, so like when it comes to talking about different scenes, I mean, it just depends on what's going on. Sometimes it's a lot harder. But again, Tim is such a great actor to feed off of, and he's really present and helpful. When we did the scene where Amae uses a metaphor to describe her feelings for Elida and the fact that it's
spark plug.
Yeah, that was a great scene. We really loved that. We shot that after shooting, filming the Mannequin challenge. So that was the but I mean, that was just a great scene to shoot, and we feed off each other really well, so it makes both of our jobs easier.
Nice. Speaking of that Mannequin challenge, so we had the moment where scientist is like, we gotta run, but of course the Republic show up, and I like that the bounty hunters actually trust the Republic. It's like, oh cool, it's backup, and you're like, girl, no.
It's not for you.
But poor Trev, R.I.P. Trev.
Justice for Trev.
Yes.
Yes. And that was one cool gun, and I love that slow-mo. And okay, they're unarmed. Man, Alex Amae in that moment of like, they're unarmed in a rock, and she's like,
crazy Amae. She just something slick. She was like, we gotta get him. I mean, survival mode. So taking sticks and stones to a whole new meaning, didn't they?
So funny.
Yeah, that was fun. We laughed a lot, of course. We laughed a lot just shooting all of that stuff because it was ridiculous. I mean, even the challenge with me smashing the Admiralty officer with a rock and then throwing the other rock. I mean, that was just fun. Holding that position.
What has been your favorite Mannequin challenge? Has it been one we've seen so far, or is it one coming up?
Mm, ooh.
We keep hearing like insight into episode 8 is what's been thrown out to us from Tim a couple times. So we don't know
I mean,
if
episode 8 is just very different,
that. Okay.
very cool, and there's a lot of like fun moments. That's definitely up there for one of my faves.
Okay.
I also really enjoyed the episode 5's Mannequin Challenge with the vines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
that
In the
was
sand.
that was cool.
Yeah.
That was hard to shoot. It was so hot.
Oh
The
my
heat was
God.
really coming down on us. Poor Crub, played by Vash Singh. His full face prosthetics, I mean, they were melting off. They were like slipping
Oh
down.
no, Vash.
No.
That's the only thing. You can't actually shoot a show like this in the heat of summer, but we were in winter, but obviously we have some hot days and our
Yeah.
winters are really terrible in Cape Town. So that day it was very hot and very melty.
Mm, mm.
Freeze under the drip of sweat. Slowly trickling down into your left eye.
Damn it, that
Yeah.
left eye of yours.
Now, how has it been for you? Because we talked before about like who's the hierarchy of fighters on this show, and there was like, hold on, a couple shout outs more for Amae because she did have the moment with the tech guy way back when, and the
Right.
kind of like iPad. So
Right.
how has it been for you? That was kind of the earlier bits before she kind of talked her way out of things, and now to this one with a rock and bashing someone in the head.
Right. I mean, I think Amae, when she initially joins the group, she deflects and ducks and will push and pull and avoid and kick. She does a lot of kicking when she has to. And then she gradually does get a bit more badass. I mean, she's got something to fight for, and being with Elida and Isaac knows that some violence, unfortunately, is required to save your family. So she does get more badass, and she does definitely get even more badass. I will say that. So yeah.
Nice. We'll look forward to it. We like her progression. Makes sense. Your average person isn't necessarily like combat ready right away.
Yeah, Elida and Isaac
Isaac's-
definitely rub off on Amae, of course.
Mhm.
I think they're all rubbing off on each other. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
So with our group, we have no luck at the impound, and that was very amusing. They're like, no, all the tickets, but it's been stolen. James, who did you think, or what did you think stole the ship? I kind of was hoping it was Winnybot stole it for them.
Oh.
It was like, you guys are too much trouble.
Yeah,
Come
he's
on.
like, I can handle this
She's
by
like,
myself,
I'm gonna
girl.
leave. Yeah.
I guess my first instinct as to who took the ship was the Republic. Like, I just assumed that I don't know, they put some homing beacon on it or something. I assumed like the big baddie were the culprits behind the ship's placement. It was a cool moment to see like everyone coming up at the same time into the ship, and Elida's there, and we're back together again. I thought that was a pretty cool moment. I was like, yay, the team. It was like a reunion. I was happy to see it.
It was a very sweet moment.
Yeah.
Agreed. I was so happy. I'm like, oh, okay. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't. You're pleasantly surprised because you don't think Elida's really gonna be gone. But I was glad it was her who's like, okay, I realize it sucks less being with you guys and being alone. Like, backhand compliment.
Yeah, I loved her. I love that moment too, because she was like you said, Kari. Like it was like, wait, are you happy to see us?
Yeah.
It's like my life sucked a little bit less without you, so let's just keep rocking together.
Yeah. But you know what? Fair on her part, because also with Isaac, she's like, I don't forgive you completely, which I wouldn't expect her to either. Like this needs to take time. But I was a little bit disappointed that she was so quick to dismiss Amae. I'm like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I think based on everything that's happened in her life, even though Amae hasn't done anything to oh my gosh, sorry, it's nearly 1 a.m. in South Africa, and
no,
struggling to.
No, you're great. Thank you for staying
yeah,
up late for us.
absolutely, yeah.
But basically, I feel like because of what Elida's been through, even though May hasn't done anything to her yet, it's like, well, let me just get out of this before she could break my heart. Or, So we get it.
We get it. We're disappointed but not surprised.
Yeah.
No.
I think that's a thing that goes around. Leave before you're left. So
Yes.
Well, someone who's not leaving and sticking around, we have Lazaro, and he gets the prep for the press conference. Ooh, that finger cutting. Ooh. Like, it's little things like, it's not a limb being cut off, but
it's gruesome.
Yes.
But what I love about Vagrant Queen is that everyone's backstory is so solid, and you understand where everyone comes from and like why they are the way they are. So yeah, just wait.
Okay. Well, that actually that as a perfect segue to a question we have in the live chat from Tracy Williams. She says, "We've gotten backstories from Elida and Isaac. Will we get a clip from Ame's backstory anytime soon?"
No, we don't get any clips from Amae's backstory. You just, obviously, you've learned a bit about her backstory from what she said. And that's about it, unfortunately. But I think everything she said says it all. I mean, you understand,
Yeah.
Well, Lazaro, even if so the thing that's like, it's interesting and creepy with him is he's speaking to the people, but of course the people don't realize how awful, psychotic, and destructive he is.
Right.
Current events and things.
U.S. politics.
But then also when he gets a hold of the scientist, I actually kind of really wanted just a little, like, she has somehow better brain power than all the other people that was able to resist him just a little bit longer. But it's like, no, she's gonna give him all the secrets and things. I'm like,
unfortunately,
the
power of Skazad.
Yeah. So then that's where we leave Lazaro. The only other last bit is we have the parking authorities on the case at the end. I was like, okay, what problem is this going to cause for our team?
Oh, Lord.
Big problem.
Yeah.
Very big.
I can imagine. Yes.
I mean, Isaac and Elida have racked up them fines. So they're after us.
Yeah. James, any other moments that stood out to you before we move to our special segment?
I want to just point out the fact that we have confirmation that Isaac manscapes. I feel like we didn't really talk about that. It's a very quick moment, but we got confirmation. We had a guest or a viewer ask us a question last week about like a scene with Tim, and he said the scene. I don't know. I forgot what he said. I think he said the scene.
No, so it's a shower scene. So
yes, that's what it was.
Gemma had talked about it in a tweet. So it has not happened yet, but it might be something in the future. So I was like, thanks for the clarification.
Who knows? This manscaping thing might be a preface to that. So I thought that was a pretty funny and humorous moment that we didn't talk about that I wanted to shed some light on as well.
I mean, have you seen that beard and that facial hair? Of course, he tends to it.
I am jealous of his beardness, I will say.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I thought agreed, James. I thought that was a very funny little moment, and now that we've talked with him too, it's even more like
like, oh God. Hey Tim. Hey buddy.
Hey, we applaud someone who takes care of themselves.
Absolutely.
Like that. It's all good. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. All right, so then we'll hold off on our predictions, but we're going to do our special segment, which is called
Winnie Who, Winnie What? So, and Winnie Who, Winnie What, we break down some of the lesser known characters and kind of peel back some of the prosthetics and figure out who's whom. This week, I'm going to focus on a character that we are very familiar with, but we haven't talked about 7 episodes deep. That is Mr. Dengar, Mr. Leon Klingman. Really, really like his work. Yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, if you're watching the show, you're pretty much caught up. So he has departed us in a very gruesome kind of way. I will say a couple episodes back that looked like it hurt. But we could talk about some of the positive things about Mr. Leon. So he is an actor, an improvist, a voice artist, an animal lover, and a fellow vegan. I'm vegan myself, and I know Alex is as well. So that was a cool little tidbit that I found about Mr. Klingman. He's based in South Africa. He attended the Lee Strasberg Theater Institute in New York from 1997 to 2000. He's done a lot of work. I mean, of all the special segments we've done, I had to really condense his list. He has done a ton of work. Vagrant Queen, obviously, he did Open Mic Night in 2020 as well. Fried Berry, Trackers, which is a South African action TV series in 2019. He did Critters, Action Point with Johnny Knoxville of Jackass here in the States. Tutankhamun as well. I also want to queue up a video we've been talking about prosthetics, and just 2 days ago, Mr. Klingman posted a video on his Twitter I wanted to take a look at, and it's basically showing how he is getting his prosthetics done. The video is very short; it's a couple seconds long, but it's really cool to see. It's really cool to see how the prosthetics happen. And as someone who Dengar's character doesn't even have that much prosthetics as a finished product, I could only imagine how difficult it was to put all this together for people like you, Alex. And then lastly, I want to point out that Mr. Klingman is a daredevil. When I say daredevil, I mean daredevil. So let me tell you about some of the things he's done in the past. So he has played cricket for 15 years. You know, that's kind of like crazy. Like, no, not that bad, whatever. He has jumped the highest bungee jump in the world at 216 meters. And lastly, he went skydiving in Vancouver in 2017. So I want to shed some light on Mr. Leon Klingman. He plays Dengar. Really respect his work. Dope dude. Excellent actor. Shout out to you, Mr. Leon from AfterBuzz
Such
TV.
a great guy.
Yeah.
So talented. He's awesome.
And then Alex, it looked like you were going to say something regarding makeup.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the whole prosthetics, the video he posted, which was the live cast. That wasn't for Dengar.
No?
He may or may not be making another appearance as a totally different specimen. So if you love him, watch out, see if you can pick him up, figure out who he is. He's great.
You guys keep dropping these little, our favorite actors keep popping up as different roles, and we have no idea. So it's actually kind of cool to see, like, is that
the beauty of prosthetics? You're like,
really?
It's a new person. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Fun fact, Amae actually was going to be fully purple. And then I did 8 makeup tests initially. I have pictures of Amae fully purple, kind of like Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, she's fully green.
Yeah.
But in terms of like skincare and time, they made Amae what she is now. But yeah, that was an interesting.
Does Amae have like a species name, like her and Chaz? Are they like a?
Yeah, she's from Planet Locus. So
Okay.
my brain.
We know it's 1 a.m. there, so
I want to say Loki, but I feel like it's not Loki. Oh my gosh, Jim, don't kill me. 1 a.m.
I actually really like that it's more the accent of the purple. Shout out to old sci-fi show if anybody watched Alien Nation. Because that one they had dots on their head and they had no hair, and then it went down their back. That was like a leopard print. So kind of has that. I like that it has a little more texture than being solid.
Yeah.
Well, the face was going to be a bit lighter, but yeah, it was definitely made she is now. But I'll post that picture.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask. I was like, I would love to see the first iteration of Amae.
Yeah.
When you described it, I was picturing Mystique from X-Men, like the whole like full blue look.
Oh yeah, not as textured.
Okay, cool.
So more like Gamora.
All right, cool. We'll look out for it on Twitter.
All right, so we gotta do some quick predictions, James.
Okay. Prediction. Like I said, to open the show, we now have a goal. So I'm excited to see, I think that we'll see the trio move forward with the scientists, maybe try to intercept Lazaro's like new leadership, quotes around that. I really want to see them take him down and pardon me for saying this, like kick some Lazaro ass. I feel like we are at that point now where like we have a goal, we have an enemy, like we have something that like solidifies us. So I think that moving forward, that's going to be it. We're going to be going to the Republic, and we're going to be facing the enemy. And we only have 3 episodes, 8, 9, and 10 left. So hopefully we get some conclusions. I'm excited.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that because I'm like, oh, can they really defeat Lazaro within these next 3 episodes? And if they do, what does that mean for what's next?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, is there going to be some other problem that's going to happen? Or does this mean like, okay, this problem is solved and now our characters have to go on a new adventure? So I'm looking forward to that. It's been teased before that it's kind of a Clue vibe from the movie, which I'm super excited about. Love that movie. So definitely looking forward to the next few. And should have possibly a return guest for next week as a prediction for y'all. So stay tuned for who that guest may be. All right. So that does it for our predictions. Again, Alex, thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Where can people find you online?
Instagram. I'm very active on Instagram. Twitter. I mean, is that what you're asking about? Right?
And it's Alex, and it's just written as Alex McGregor.
Alex PR MCG. PR is my second name. So Alex PIARA MCG.
Perfect.
Nice. Very cool.
Across all platforms.
Nice. And James, where can people find you online?
You can find me at Terrell James Maple on Instagram, at James Maple Actor on Twitter, and I also do the Reno 911 After Show, 7 o'clock on Sundays, and I'm a big active writer for AfterBuzz TV, so look out for me there. And Black Twitter on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock. Do a lot of shows, so look out for me there.
Yay. Thank you, everybody who joined us in the live chat. And if you're watching this later, please comment down below. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe so you know when we'll see you again for next weekend. My name is Kari Lane. You can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's KARIDLANE. And I also do the after show for Demon Slayer. So you can check that out later on this evening. It's a really cool anime. We're only about 5 episodes in, so you got some time to catch up. All right, again, Alex, it was a pleasure. It was so fun digging into the character of Amae, and we can't wait to see what she does next.
Awesome. Me too.
All right, again, thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.